although they still existed, but they weren't near anything near what it was prior to the rendezvous being open. Okay. So now we're up to late 50s. By then, well, even right after the war, not after the war, but say 1940, a big exodus of Chinese because the mines were closing down, the sawmills were closing down, and they all end up, I would say majority of them end up in Vancouver. Because someone started this Chinese reunion thing in Vancouver somewhere around 1990 and 1988, somewhere around there. They started and they had an annual Chinese reunion in Vancouver. And that place, there was always maybe about 150 of us there. So it showed you how many people that originally were brought up in Nanaimo resided in Vancouver. And that kept on until year 2000. That's the last one. I pretty much went to every one of them because it was nice to see kids that I grew up with, though we're all gray hair and shriveled up and all the rest of it. But it's always nice to reminisce. You know, oh, you're the one that put ink into my inkwell or dyed my hair or whatever. But living up in Chinatown was a great place because you never felt lonely, and although there are a lot of these, we call them bachelors, but probably half of them had families back in the old country. Because of the laws at the time, they weren't allowed to bring their families over. You know, it's only after 1947, somewhere about 2-3 years after the Second World War ended, that Chinese were allowed to reunite with their families. So most of them never brought their families over because it was a Chinese custom that their dream was they're going to die, and when they die, they're going to send their bones back home, or if they had the money, they're going to go home. And that was their expectation. A lot of them did go. Went back to China to die before their time was up. But the ones that couldn't, they were buried here, and then after 7 years, they would dig up the bones, they put them into bags, and they supposed to send them back to their place of origin. Because probably 99% of the Chinese, I would think in BC or even down the state, came from the province of Guangdong, you know. And it was kind of funny in a way because the province itself, there probably was seven dialects just in that one province alone. Like when I look at my family, like my wife there, you know, we're from the same province, but her dialect and my dialect is different. And my dad's dialect is different from my mom's dialect, but there's enough that that you can communicate. Like, you know, they might pronounce the word maybe slightly different, but you can always get the gist of what this person wants to say to you. Yeah. So that would bring me back up to, then the big fire. Albert would know about the big fire in 1960. Yeah. That pretty much started the end of Chinatown, because after the fire, everybody got dispersed. People would start, the people that are still here have family, they bought homes outside of Chinatown. And so after the fire, they built, I think, 2 housing units up there for the so-called bachelor. Like I said, half of them did have family, they weren't actually bachelors, you know. So that's pretty much my story, and if you have questions, yes.
Was there a gambling house?
Oh, yeah. I think the Chinese people were born to gamble. I don't know. But I have to admit, our family, my dad never drank, never smoked. Mom never drank, never smoked, never played with cards. Although when I was growing up, there was actually 1, 2, 4 gambling places up there. Mm-hmm. And although it was all around me, till this day, I never did gamble. You know, cards and gambling just wasn't part of me.
You had no money.
Yeah, I had a little bit, but I remember going down to Stan Wardo's dad's place to buy a hockey stick or something off him, yeah.
Okay, one more question, because we
Yeah.
have 3 more to tell us, so I
And was there like a drug house, an opium den?
No, well, yes,
There wasn't.
like they didn't, the opium that I'm aware of, I know how they made it, okay? They used to go around different districts in town and pick poppies. I used to wonder how they made it.
See them around
Just,
here.
yeah, they just run, but they take a particular type of poppy, and they'll just cut the bulb, and then once you cut it, there's that milky stuff like a dandelion. When you cut a dandelion, you get this milk. They take that and they boil it and they distill it down till it's a thick fluid, and that's the opium. Because I remember as a child, every once in a while they say Ma Beng, which in Chinese means mounted police. And they know they were coming up to raid, because they knew who was taking the stuff and who wasn't. But there was a few, but there was basically, I wasn't aware of ever having an opium den, you know, someplace where you can go buy the stuff, yeah.
thank you, Bob.
Okay?